Hi, I'm Sil, and this is Slow Easy English. In today's video, part 15 of the Best Way to Learn English series, I'd like to talk to you about something that's quite important to understand when you're learning a language. This thing that you are really, it's kind of your ultimate goal when you're learning to speak a language, is to shortcut your brain, creating shortcuts in your brain that you're probably not using right now. Now, what does this mean? Well, let me give you an example. Okay, let's imagine there's a Japanese student learning English. Okay, now this Japanese student wants to express the idea of dog. They're trying to think of the English word dog. Well, before they can say that word, two things must happen in their minds before they can say the English word dog. The first thing that happens is that the concept, the idea of a dog occurs to them. Okay? You don't need language for this. You know, someone who never learned a language, if they see a dog, you know, of course, let's assume they know what a dog is. They've seen dogs all their lives. Okay, and then they see a dog. They may not have the language to express the idea, but mentally, in their brain, the concept of dog exists. They understand what it is. They understand what it can do, what it can't do, what it might do, what it is not likely to do, etc. They understand the idea of dog. They understand that most dogs are friendly, some can be dangerous, etc. And they don't need any language. That's what I mean when I'm talking about the idea of dog, the concept of dog. So that's the first thing that occurs in their minds, is the concept of dog. And they want to express that. So, you know, let's say, for example, the teacher asked them, what is your favorite animal? And they want, you know, when they finally understand that question, what's your favorite animal? They go, oh, well, that's dog, right? That's what they want to say. So what happens in their head is, first, the idea of dog pops up. And then, for most students learning a language, the next step, which happens very, very, very quickly, is that they think of the word in their own native language. So this Japanese student would think of the concept of dog and then almost immediately think inu, the Japanese word for dog. And then the next step is the really long, slow step, which is to try to think of the English word dog. So here we have the concept, and then the Japanese word, and then the English word. Now, becoming fluent is not about making the second step, or first, second, third. The third step, being fluent and being quick and understanding things easily, is not about making that third step really, really fast. It's not doing 1, 2, 3 very quickly. The key to doing this well and doing this easily is to eliminate that second step completely. Take out that step where you go from concept to native language to foreign language. Okay? What you want ultimately is to go from the concept directly to the target language, English in this case. So that, you know, if I say what's your favorite animal to someone, the ultimate goal, what they really want to achieve, is to get to the point where when the idea of dog occurs to their head, instead of inu occurring almost instantly, what they get is the English word dog occurring almost instantly. So the translation aspect disappears completely. You just think of the concept and immediately it's paired with the English word that you want to use. So the idea of dog, dog. It's that simple. What's your favorite animal? Dog. Boom. And this is something that may not be obvious to everyone learning a language, but it's really quite important to understand that this is your goal. Translating quickly is not your goal. You're not looking to translate. Translation is not part of what you are trying to achieve, unless you want to become a translator. But my point is that translating is a different skill altogether, okay? I grew up speaking English and French natively. I spoke English at home and at school all day long. And never once did I sit there and go, oh, let me see here. Saying this in French, how do I say it in English? Oh, okay. I learned English just by living in an English city where all the media, newspapers, TV, all my neighbors, all my friends in the neighborhood spoke English, were English native speakers, in fact. And so I learned both languages with a native accent, native level grammar, vocabulary, etc. If I spoke English, nobody knew I spoke French. I had no accent and I had no deficiency in the language. If I spoke French, nobody knew I spoke English because my French was also native level. So I know that from my experience, I spent no time ever translating from one language to the next. The only time that occurred, okay, I'm sorry, I said ever. That's not true. There are very occasional moments where that occurred, and that was if I learned a word in one language and had not yet learned it in the other language, which sometimes happens in a case like mine. At school, I learned a lot of words that you learn in school, and out speaking with my friends, I learned a lot of slang that I didn't pick up at school. The situations are different, so sometimes I would know something in English that I didn't know in French, and sometimes I would learn something in French that I didn't know in English. So in those cases, well, actually, I wasn't even translating. I just didn't know the word. So I had to ask, how do I say blah, blah, blah in French? Or how do I say blah, blah, blah in English? But once I learned those words, I did not do any translation. It became part of my vocabulary. The same way when you learn a new word in your native language, you're not translating, you just learned a new word, and that's it. So that's really what your ultimate goal when you're learning a new language is to arrive at that level where you're learning new words without having to translate them. Ever. You pick up a new word, you understand its meaning the same way you do in your native language. How do you do this? Well, it's impossible for a beginner. For someone who is just starting, it's the only way to do it. You have to translate because that's how you learn new vocabulary. Of course, through a lot of repetition, and I'm not talking about drills and exercises. Yes, if you do those, they can help you, okay? They can help you, get an idea and kind of, for it to gel more quickly and more solidly in your head. That's fine. But that should be a small part of your English experience. As I've mentioned in other videos, you should be, if you're serious about speaking and understanding English, you should be using English as a tool in order to achieve something. Okay, you do something in English. You don't study English to speak English. You speak English to achieve a goal, communication. Anyway, so this is something by the more experience you have with English, listening, speaking, writing, reading, the more experience, the more often you do it, the faster it becomes. But more importantly, it doesn't just go concept, native word, foreign word. That doesn't just become faster. As you use it more and more, this second step melts away and it becomes a direct thing from concept to word and from word to concept. So that's what's kind of important to understand in what's happening. So that is your ultimate goal, to get to the point where you're no longer translating and you're going directly from the idea, the no language idea, to the target word, the word that you want to say, or vice versa. If you hear a word and you go directly to the concept, to the idea itself. I've seen students that have studied English for years. They have great grammar, they have great vocabulary. Well, great textbook grammar, really. But it's still pretty solid grammar. And they still continue to translate. And this is actually something I'm going to continue in the next video. The reason I know they're translating is because of how they express their sentences. Okay? And this is a problem. This is a big problem for someone who is trying to learn a new language, and it stops you from progressing. So if you can be conscious and be conscious of the fact that you're translating to your native language and then translating, you're going from concept to your native word and then translating from that to your target word. If you're conscious of this, maybe you can try to shortcut, from, just remove the second step, go from the concept to the target word. It's possible to make a conscious effort to do that. And as I will explain in my next video, it's actually quite an important thing to do, because not achieving that level will hold you back and you'll end up speaking some really weird English, and a lot of it will not be understandable. So yeah, I'm going to continue this in the next video, and I'm going to talk about how we can stop translating sentences, because I see that a lot of students continue to do that out of bad habit, and they're not translating the ideas, but they're translating words in sentences, and then the result is not very good. So be sure to watch my next video when it comes out, and I hope this one helped you understand a little bit better what's happening inside your mind when you're speaking English and listening and reading and writing. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget, please share the video, tell other people about it, because everything on my channel is English, which means that it doesn't come up in searches. So if you know of people that would like to watch this video, let them know. Thanks. Bye-bye.